Welcome to the Thin Blue Line Outdoors Podcast.
This pig came bottling.
Just ended up puking last night. It sucked.
Whoa! Ah! We gut it, we wrap it in tinfoil, throw it over the fire.
Alright everyone, Cody Johnson here with the Thin Blue Line Outdoors. Podcast, I don't know, it's like 80 something. That and I don't know if I'm going to be combining podcasts or not. We are in Ontario, Canada, the gorgeous province of Ontario. Having a good time at bear camp. We are on day 4. We'll be hunting for tonight. So, it's been fun. I'm here with Austin. Austin's been on the podcast several times. We have some news. That's why we're jumping on here now. It took us 3 days of hunting, but something happened. I'm going to let Austin go from here. Maybe we should backtrack a little bit from last fall to now.
Yeah. So, I mean, just to start off, you kind of let him and said, well, bear down, right?
Yep.
Day 3. Couldn't ask for anything much cooler of an experience than what we had. So we started, when was that, 6 months ago? September, late or mid-September, we came down. Same exact spot, same campsite, same territory here in Ontario. Made a trip, I think work issues only allowed it to be, 4 days, I think?
Like 3 days of hunting.
3 days of hunting,
like
4 days total trip for us, or for me anyways. So, first day we got here, there's a bear killed in September. And kind of shut off after that. We didn't have much success. All the baits were dead. So, I mean, just time ran out. We didn't have enough time. We still had a good trip, fished a little bit. We ate well.
Yeah.
But other than that, we at that
I just
point
remember getting a call from you on the way back, and you're like, "You're coming in the spring." That was like all you told me. It wasn't even like.
Well, we had made up Cody's mind for him on the way back. So
I wasn't even asked. I was told.
So my main goal to start this year off was to shoot a bear, and so we came up. We decided with Sid's Bear Adventures. Cody's dad, Rubb, who kind of runs the show here, was up here. How early was he up here?
So Dad's been
2
working
weeks?
for Sid, and he's been up here. He came back here to get baits going at the end of April. Got the baits going, and then came back up. He was about here for maybe a week. About
A week
before he
prior
got
to
here.
us, yeah. And then, so he put in a lot of work prior to us getting here. I think we had 15 bait sites at least going, and there was a bunch getting hit prior to us getting here. But the day we arrived, there's a few.
Yeah, there was a storm rolled in.
Yeah,
so
and a big cold front.
So we don't know if that had something to do with it or not. It was, mind you, where we're at right now. If you guys aren't familiar with this area, I'm assuming most of our viewers are probably in America like us. They had ice on the water like
a week, 2 weeks ago, right?
2-3 weeks ago, yeah. So,
and trust me, an ice bath.
Yeah. So
it was day 5 without a shower this morning, and we decided to get in the lake.
It was cold.
Not a thing.
Yeah, real cold. So anyway, very first couple days of hunting was slow.
Very slow. Baits were dying off. We had one here and there, but we did have one bait that had an active bear on it, and this bear was wanting that bait.
Tore up that tree.
Yeah, tore up the tree. It climbed the tree to get in the bucket. So it was. We had him on on trail cam. It was, I mean, pretty neat. So these guys, being it was my first bear, said we're gonna get on them.
Yep.
Went and hung up a set, and
what are you hunting out of, Austin?
so we got a Lone Wolf Alpha 2, and then API sticks. That's just those sticks have been really good for me. They're longer. They're not as light as what a lot of them are, but I've hung it a lot of times with no issues. So. This is kind of my go-to mobile set. I know they don't make Lone Wolf anymore, but it's just a really good hang on.
Yeah, so. I mean, both times I've helped you set up them twice now, and all I'm doing is handing stuff to you, and you're up the tree
15,
very very quickly and quietly. Which is
that's
nice.
the quietly is the biggest thing. Like if I got to take a couple extra minutes, in my opinion, it's okay. But we're gonna hang it again tonight, and so I can film you. So but yeah, no, we set this up as in like a swampy, I would say like a peat moss.
Really pretty though.
Yeah, it was. It was more open than what we've been. I'd say what was about 15 yards is about the farthest we can. 15, 20 yards.
Yeah, you can see farther, but you can't shoot farther.
Yeah,
like you just see stuff moving through the.
But
woods.
in this spot, I had a couple lanes to where I could shoot 30 yards, 30 plus yards. Is more of like a peat moss. Like when you'd walk, it would like you would hear it squishing. Like it's just a wet area. But we ended up getting in there, and this bear, like below the bait bucket where we were, it had a hole dug where all the syrup and stuff was. And
Old rat getters.
Yeah, and rat getters, exactly. We so we ended up get it?
Yep, fly.
Hey, the bugs are starting to get bad here in Ontario. So.
You know, they are getting a little worse, but like compared to last year, guys, I can't tell you how much nicer this trip's been for weather and bugs wise for me. I was in the spring last year.
Yeah,
bears are better, but the bugs are 10 times worse. But anyway,
so we're in this peat moss swamp area. It's kind of open, but it had this active bear on it, so we hung it. We forgot our saw when we were hanging, so we're snapping branches. Like, we finally got this thing hung. Well, what did the pictures say? Was it?
So that was the thing. We've been leaving camp around 5.
5. Because up here we're hunting until 9.
Past
around
9. Yeah, past 9. Like it's been getting dark later than what we thought it was going to be. Anyway, so we're hunting, and it was like 4:30, 4:45, somewhere in there.
4:20.
Yeah, and then a little after 5, because the day they went to camp, they had to drive. My dad and Austin had to drive past this bear. That bear was on bait when they drove by, and did not seem to care. And then he came back in at 8 something that night.
Yeah, 8:20. So, and he was hot, looking for that bait. So we're like, if you want your first bear, this is going to be it. So we ended up, just getting up in the stand, went to the same time. I mean, if he's there, he's there. He's going to come back, hopefully. So 5 hours is a long time sitting in a stand. You know?
Luckily, you didn't see that one.
Luckily, we did not. So we get up there, and it's it's dead quiet, like zero wind. This entire trip, we've had wind.
Yep.
It's been blowing 20 mile an hour. This day we had nothing. Yep. And you could hear everything in the woods. It's kind of dry now. And I've been hearing, it's all the squirrels running around. They come up, steal a piece of bread and leave. 15, 20 times that happened. Well, I hear this different sort of a crunch. And I look up, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a bear. And you just see this black shadow coming through the marsh in the woods. And so I stand up, I hit. So I'm also trying to self-film this hunt for Cody. So I hit the camera, and I don't know, I'm not a camera pro, but I hit this camera, and I thought I turned on the GoPro, but I must have double tapped the button.
So I got 2 seconds. 2 seconds footage where you can see the bear.
In the kill zone.
Yeah, in the kill zone. Like, you can tell he's getting ready to probably shoot it and then dead. So I'm assuming that's what happened, because I tested it. I tested it today, that night, and like it was recording fine when I hit it one time. So, but then I tested it. When you double tap it, that's exactly what it does. It comes on, films a second or two, and then shuts off. So I'm assuming that's what's happening.
So this thing came in, like, these bears look a lot bigger in person. Like, they are, like, they're big. And so anyways, this thing, you would think like an animal that big, like you would hear crunch, it'd be wrecking through the woods. These things are the quietest things I've ever heard. Or, I mean, in comparison to their size, they're quiet. I'm like, holy smokes, this thing snuck up on me. Well, anyways, I get stood up, and you know those nerves like your first deer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's cool to feel that feeling again, you know? Like, I was like, all right, come on, take a breath. Like, anyways, this thing was walking right in front of me at, what was it, probably 10 yards?
15 in, for sure.
Yeah, 15 at the most.
Yeah.
Just broadside, and I didn't even let it
Get to the
get in the bait bucket. I shot it, and as soon as I shot it, it was that soft like smack, and not really like a big crack like you'd hit bone or anything. And you know, at that point, we had talked about where shot placement was on these, and I just put did the thing. And
Yep. Now you said it ran. Well, you could see 20, 30 yards. What?
Well, so yeah, I couldn't see where it quit running, but what I could hear was when I shot it, and a lot off your shot, like watch the arrow go in, pass completely through, and then you could see blood on each side of it spraying as it's running. Like I'm like, okay.
Yep.
And then you hear what you guys called it,
death moan.
the infamous death moan.
Yep. What'd you think of that? Hearing that for the first time?
I mean, no one wants to, killing parts.
Yes, killing part's a hard part,
Yeah,
but
I mean, but it is part of it. So, but you heard that, and then it's done. It only lasted about 2 seconds. So.
Yep.
But this all happened. This was all a 15-second ordeal, so
Yep.
it was very quick. At that point, we had talked to Rob prior to getting dropped off. Yeah, and he's like, "Come get me if you shoot one."
Yeah, and we were like pretty confident that Austin was going to get an opportunity. Obviously nothing's a sure deal, but we're like, probability's high, and sure enough.
Well, yeah, and it's like, and like after we're on day 3, 4, going day 3, we're here in camp 4 days, going on day 3 of hunting. Baits are like slim, and you're like, oh, like, is it actually going to happen? So everything, it just came in right. Same way we seen it coming in on the cameras, shot it, perfect shot. Ran 25 yards is what and then fell over dead. So I didn't even go look at it at that point. I looked at my arrow, it was completely red. I was like, I'm just going to back out and get Rob, just because I know, like, the size of this bear, I'm not going to be able to carry this thing by myself. It's just not going to happen. So got in side by side, went down to Rob's setup. It's about 5 miles away. Ended up giving him the hoop and holler, like he come down, and he knew.
So where Dad's at, when he's in the tree, he can see if somebody's pulling up on him. He's still quite a bit off the road, but when he's up in the air, he can see far. And he said he was laughing when he heard you coming first. Yeah. He was like, oh,
so he's like, someone shot one. He's like, I don't know who, but someone. So anyways, we get down, we go back to the set. And then we start the track job. So Cody can tell you a little bit. We TBLO partnered up with Rec Broadheads.
Yep, and this was our...
this was the debut. This was the first shot with the Rec Broadhead.
Matt and Alex, if you watch this, I'm not going to lie, we were making jokes like, man, I hope these broadheads are worth a damn. And, they seem to be shooting fine. Like, they seem built sturdy, but you don't know until you know.
And, like, that was the biggest thing. Like, we pulled these things out of the package, and, like, I went with the XPs. What was that? What's the...
XPs.
The XPs. Normal size, like regular cut diameter, was close to 2 inches as well. And but the thing we noticed about these were that they're built beefy.
Yeah.
Like there's like a meat behind them.
Like I'll name drop. We're used to shooting like Rages or something like that, and
they're a one-time deal.
Yeah, when you compare just holding the difference, you're like, this Rec Broadhead is beefy.
It's got that big chisel tip on the front end.
Yep.
Well. So anyways, we get back to where I shot this thing, and my arrow was buried almost all the way to the fletchings in the ground. And I mean, it's completely red up until that point. Well, I pull this thing out, and the first thing, of course, at this point, when I'm wondering what these broadheads are looking like. And this broadhead was completely intact. Like, we'll put a video, send a little clip after I pull the arrow out.
Yep.
It'll be connected to this. Like, I'm moving this. I literally can wash this thing out and reshoot it. The chisel tip is not even beveled, bent, mushroomed, nothing. I mean, it's good to go, and it's still sharp, razor sharp. So, very thankful for that. So
especially, and we'll get to it, especially when you see how much the blood trail and how much it wasn't a traditional like broadside shot, as we found out.
It was
once you find it.
Yeah, it was like probably quarter.
So it went through more of the animal than we thought it would. Yeah. So
it was quartering away, or it was either quartering away just a little bit, or its back leg was lifted up, and released the arrow, went straight through its heart. I mean, dead center of its heart. And it went through its leg also somehow. So I don't know. I think the back leg might have been up walking or something, but. Anyways, we look up, and at this point, I was telling Cody's dad, I was like, man, like, look at this blood trail. Like, you're looking to the left of the way it ran from the point of impact. Like, right off the bat, there's blood. You look up, and it's just a red highway all the way down. And I didn't know it at this point. We got 10 yards into it, and Rob had already seen the bear. Because Rob's a lot taller than I am, so I was like trying to look over little rolling hills, and I mean, Rob's a good probably 6-8 inches taller, So he said he could see it. Well, I finally walked right up on this thing just because I was staring at the blood trail, and there she was. So it was a nice 130-ish, 140 maybe pound bear. Not a monster, but it was a good first bear.
Your first big game animal that's not a deer, right? For the most part.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like big game, like North Woods, northern type of animal. So.
No, I am happy. I was tickled to death that he got one. There was I don't know, just it felt like a pressure was kind of lift off of all of camp. Like, whoo, we got a bear, one bear in camp at least.
One bear down. So, we get there, and you'll see. We'll attach some photos what the broadheads have done. We'll send them to Rec. Those guys over at Rec too. But
very pleased now with them.
Very pleased and very happy. We got 3 more bears to kill with them. So
yeah, that's the plan.
It's, but yeah, we get this thing up. Got them drug out or laddered out. We a makeshift ladder to carry these things out with, and field dressed it and got some photos with it, and got her back here to camp, hung up, got her skinned off. Got the skin off of it. We're gonna bring it to the taxidermist, get a nice rug for the man cave, and then Cody and I a day later we let it hang, let that blood get out, and we got her processed.
It didn't take us long at all to get it.
Yeah, got it quartered out. And, got about 70 to 80 pounds of meat off of it, so it's it'll be good, nice meals for the family for the rest of the summer until deer season starts. So.
Yep, nope, super excited. So Austin's gonna go out with me today and film me. I'm at it with the old traditional bow. So I'm in the same spot where I actually killed my bear Chubby Cheeks at last year. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully I get them. We had 2 bears on that bait 2 days ago.
And they're big ones. They're they're like 300 plus.
One's probably around 300. The other one's probably around 200. So I'll shoot either one. Either one that comes in, I'll shoot. Austin will hopefully get all on video for me. We're gonna have all kinds of camera angles now on the stand.
Oh yeah.
So
tell them about the paw print on the 4-wheeler.
So I know the bears are starting to move a little bit more because. So we go out, we run baits in the morning. Usually, then we come back to camp, hang out for a while, eat, and then we head back out to hunt at 5. Well, when I was leaving, I was by myself on the ATV, and as I'm leaving, there we got between our camp and then the first turnoff that we have to take to get to my stand. That's probably about half a mile or less. There's
what is it? Another 4 miles probably till.
It's 3 miles. 3 miles. It's 3 miles. Yep. So. There was fresh bear poop that was not there in the morning. So that means sometime between when we ran baits in the morning till we went hunting, a bear was a couple hundred yards from camp. So I was like, oh, that's good when I was driving. And then, hunt that day, don't see anything. come back, and I usually park my four-wheeler a little farther than probably what it needs to be, but I always get a little paranoid about ATV being too close. So I probably parked it like 150 yards away, 100 yards of the 100, 150. Anyway, I walk and I'm setting my bow and stuff on the ATV, and I look, and there's a fresh bear paw print, and I got video of that when I first found it. Right there, like where my crotch would be on the four-wheeler. I'm like, are you kidding me? And there's some little scratch marks and stuff on the ATV.
Shouldn't have left your four-wheeler.
I know, I should have hunted from there. So I don't know. I have no idea what time that bear came through and did that. So they're obviously moving. We didn't have any baits hit today, which is kind of weird. But hopefully they come and feed tonight.
But
today's warmer.
Yeah, but you said like that's a thing. Like they'll flip on, flip off. Like so. Yeah,
back in 2019. My brother and I were up here hunting first before a big group of guys came in, and Colt and I hunted nothing, didn't see nothing. Those guys got there, we set their baits up, nothing, and then there's like the next day, boom, on fire, and we killed 2, and then the next day we killed like 5. Like it was just on a roll then. So it's just like when the bears turn on, they turn on. So they just haven't happened yet. We got 5 more days of hunting. Hopefully they turn up and we'll be getting some more bears down. You know, I've yet to be skunked up here. Hopefully we can keep that trend going.
Right.
But either way, I'm having fun. It's already been a good trip so far. I know Austin and I talked about being in our jobs where we needed to get away for a while. And I'm pleased with this trip so far, and and we haven't went fishing yet, so we gotta do some fishing stuff like that still. So
yeah, I mean, hopefully you kill one tonight and we can. I was almost like. Everyone's making fun of me saying I'm like the camp.
Camp wuss. We'll go with that.
Camp
Political,
wuss,
a little nicer than what we're calling them.
yeah. So I'm like, okay, like I'm okay with that. Yeah. I'll cook dinner and stuff. So. But no. I figured instead of sitting here, we'll go out and film, and maybe if Cody gets one tonight, then we'll take a different approach, or someone else gets one, and then we can go fish all day and do something.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Well, anything else you want to say?
Stay tuned.
Yep, stay tuned. Again, this is going to be the first podcast of this trip. There'll be at least one more, because obviously even if we don't kill anything, we'll do one to kind of tie it up the whole podcast. But yeah, no, been fun in bear camp so far. Super excited. Again, happy with Rack Broadheads, happy with Rack Getters so far.
And then Rack Broadheads, I think that's a good.
And then I did not bring enough coffee. We have come to realize this patrol roast is pretty good. So Ed, you did a good job from our grounds. But other than that, guys, we're gonna get out of here, hit the woods tonight. Hopefully have some bears down and some pictures and more podcasts to follow. Stay tuned and stay safe out there.